Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Going Vocal, where we discuss a number of concepts surrounding communication and, in fact, other sorts of concepts such as integrity and, various other concepts relating to the human and social conditions. So, here on the panel, I have Anupam with me, and I have Hemant, our regular uh, uh, voices and opinion setters of this channel. So, yes, guys, today we're going to discuss something very interesting and very fundamental in any kind of social organization. So, I'd say we're going to discuss integrity and truth in the modern world. So, we'll start off with Hemant. What is your opinion on the concept of truth? What do you think truth really entails?
Yeah, truth. Good evening, and yes, truth is actually what should I say? Speaking it out. I mean, because truth has actually got a lot of meanings. There is one meaning is of course it is not to tell lies. Be open and transparent and express yourself. For instance, for example, if you have not been able to, so I can relate it with my own sales profession. Supposing there is a, sales review meeting, and you have not been able to meet your target, you be truthful and say that I tried my best, but I was not able to do this, and be honest, and maybe not, instead of trying to dilly dally and try to bring some excuse for not meeting the target, better to be truthful. So it's actually an openness. Truthful is openness, being honest, not to twist. I would say not to twist the fact. Twisting of the fact becomes a lie. So not twisting it, but putting it threadbare is what I would say is truth. And in relation to its connection to integrity, yes, those who are truthful will be I mean, will have integrity. Integrity is basically it's honesty. So a truthful person will
Right.
be honest. Yes, it has got to do with your expression and also the feelings. Proving, I'm always remember one of Mahatma Gandhi's famous quotes where he says, "Speak what you speak should be in congruence with your thinking." Many a times, what happens is you have something in your mind which you would like to say, but due to societal pressures or some external pressure, you twist it and say something which is not in line with your thinking and what you would have liked to say. So there actually you are being dishonest. You are being dishonest to yourself. So
Fantastic.
truth and
Fantastic.
integrity are
Yes,
connected
yes.
to.
So I think Hemant here has sort of brought them all as one concept, an overlying concept, truth, integrity, and honesty. Of course, certain people would have slightly varying degrees of differences between truth, integrity, and honesty. And I would like maybe Anupam's take on integrity, the concept of integrity.
Okay, thank you, Rahul, for introducing me, and thanks for bringing out this topic. This is, I think, one of the key concepts that people are not aware of when we say about truth and integrity. I think being truthful is the way, like Hemant said, being transparent to everyone and open your actions to what you say. Maybe sometimes we say something and we do another thing. So that is not kind of people you want to come out with. So because if you see in political scenarios, if the person who is handling the party, if he's not very truthful to people, people will not vote to him. You see many parties remain in power because they are truthful to people and they do what they have promised to the people about the development or maybe whatever the factors or whatever their agenda was there when they decided or when they proclaimed their vision to people. So that becomes very important. And if you are not truthful to people, and I think truthful and integrity goes hand in hand. Like I said, being transparent is being truthful, and if your actions are what you are doing, what you have said, then I think that becomes the integrity, or the integrity part lies only when you have the actions what you have spoken. So we have seen that many if you see right now, Donald Trump is claiming a lot of things in political parties, and if he's not, he would not have been. And we have seen that in the past also, he has done many claims, and he has also uh, supported his claims by his actions also. So, and because of that, people have voted him again, and it becomes very important for each one of us to be truthful because it. I think there's different dimension of being truthful because if you are not truthful, you might not have the peace of mind because if you are telling a lot of lies to people and trying to create some scenarios out of some lies, it will be difficult for you to follow up. You have to remember a lot of things, and there will be a lot of things going up into your mind, and then you will lose your peace of mind. So that in that part also, I think that plays a very important role that you have to be truthful to you, to people around you, so that people trust you. And Hemant also said, in corporate world or the place you are working, if you are not truthful or you are not working with integrity, it becomes difficult for people around you to work with you. And in case the higher management wants some people who are who wants to be promoted, then you will not be selected because you are not the person who is up to the mark, not telling truth and not working with integrity. So it becomes a very important role in your professional and I think in personal growth as well. This is what my opinion
This
is.
is fantastic. Yeah. Anupam has brought in some very interesting ideas, and he has, in fact, covered a large variety of concepts. But regarding the podcast here, I would like to say I find it very interesting that Anupam used the example of politicians because generally politicians are connected with a lack of honesty. So
Yeah.
I must say that was an interesting concept. Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to ask you guys, you know, have you considered truth to be more of a metaphysical form? You guys have talked about truth being, um, something that was practically applicable to your organization, builds a kind of trust between you, the employer, various stakeholders in your life, people that you deal with. It gives a kind of connection to those people, and you have a certain level of a psychological force, if you wish, that is has a backbone. So I'd say, like in general, that's what Anupam was implying by showing us the various places where he could apply honesty and truth. But in a metaphysical way, sometimes truth also is about finding what is hidden in the reality, isn't it? So, finding what goes beyond what we see. Like we mentioned, I mean, I once, in a conversation with you guys, didn't tell you about, the concept that uh, basically science follows. Science follows a kind of concept where it understands that it's not what you see necessarily that is really playing out. There are underlying forces, and it tries to discover those forces. And the scientific method is a method that tries to find truth. Now, can you tell me if you guys believe that living your life thinking of truth in this particular way can be applicable to a general person who wants to live, who goes to work and comes back, earn a breadwinner basically for the family. The breadwinners, both men and women who go out and come back. Do you think living in a world where they try to search for this can assist them in any way in the modern world?
Yes.
That is
Yes, actually, what you said is another meaning of truth. That is,
right.
truth has got one more meaning. One is, of course, not telling lies and being honest. The other one is you're reaching your highest self. That is, it has got that truth has got that meaning also. The ultimate conscious level, reaching that,
Right,
and
right,
that's
right.
yeah, yeah. That is why we
Yes.
do this
So,
meditation and techniques like meditation, chanting mantras, and
right.
all these exercises are basically to reach the highest level of your consciousness. And if you do
You feel
that,
that science too? Yes, yes, yes. Very good, very
yes,
good. Even science
yes.
too is on a quest for such a
Ex-
realization of some sort, right?
Exactly, exactly. Because if you take the case of India, and I think now the world over, even if you take the Western countries and many other countries across the world, they respect now India because India, as you know, for many years ago, we were the first people. to bring about this importance of reaching your consciousness. I mean, our munis
Right.
or the sages, they were
Sages.
very
Right.
the basis of Hinduism itself is that. But of course, unfortunately, it has been wrongly interpreted over the years, and Hinduism lost its way. But now again, of course, it is coming back. Yes,
Right.
so definitely
Right.
that is very important. I mean, I would say rather than if you want to speak the truth and have integrity and honesty in your approach, I think the first step is you have to reach your higher self. You have to understand yourself. You have to go within yourself, deep within yourself,
And
understand who you are, and then reach the ultimate consciousness. And then what happens is you become your authentic self. I think truth is actually that you become many of us, including myself. Many a times, I think we have not we lose ourselves and we try to copy somebody else. Each one is unique. Yes,
right.
so that
Right.
expression of
So,
that uniqueness and authenticity, which the world wants, because each individual is
right.
different. Yeah, that will come only when
So
one
this
discovers.
is a very interesting concept that Hemant also brought up
Yes,
here, where he
yes,
looks at it in a spiritual come psychological manner, searching for a greater self or a greater understanding of the self as a search for truth here. But my general question was, how do you think it can benefit society? When you look at people like the average Joe, the average person who goes to work, comes back, buys his vegetables, takes it home, perhaps helps his wife prepare food, or maybe watches television while his wife prepares food, or maybe they have a servant. This kind of average people, normal human beings, this quest that they have for truth, is it going to be psychologically beneficial in any way? Do you guys feel that it can be helpful into these kind of human beings? Anupam, your take?
Yeah.
It's very good. Hemant already has an answer in his where he has, when he spoke earlier on, but I want to have a different kind of perspective there, Anupam. What do you think?
Uh, Definitely, I think it should be, but for a common man like me, if you're asking me to dig deep into truth, it will be difficult for me with the day-to-day life unless I'm doing something extra through meditation and trying to get in deep into this kind of intellectual topics. It will be difficult to understand. But the thing is, I believe that truth is different for different person, or maybe to different professional. For me, it's like being truthful to you, your work and your family, being truthful to them what we have promised, that we'll go for picnic for with your children, that we have promised something, then being honest with it and trying to match the schedule that you had planned. And for a kid, maybe for a kid, what is truthful? He will say that, like we said, such bolo. You have to be truthful to your parents. Do not lie to them. For him, truth is like being honest and what they have planned or what they have done in their school. Telling the truth to your parents, because we say that do not hide anything with us, because we are the one who are going to help you. It's different for him, and taking out truth from the criminals is different, something different for a police person. So and I think the mostly used to dig out truth from people is, I think they are police persons. And even if a traffic police, whenever you're driving and he sees something in you, he will judge you from your face itself, that you are trying to hide something. You might not be carrying a license. He will judge you from your face, because when there are random people running the vehicles, then they try to catch people with suspicious face. And I think they are the best judge of people who will be honest or not. So I think the definition is different, and I think
For different people.
the answer that you are trying to seek with us, I think it will be difficult for a common man who is not practicing or thinking these kind of intellectual topics in a deeper sense. Like you're asking me, I really don't know about the truth,
Okay, all right. And actually, I really
but
like Anupam start.
I think the point that you have raised over here gives us a sense of for us to look into, like what try to look into deep into things, and I think that is what happens when you are trying to do your MBAs, when you give your exams. If you I don't know, I tried to prepare for GATE. I never gave GATE examinations, but when I looked into those questions that they were seeking, there were different kind of questions which were asking us critical thinking, and I think that is what is important about any competitive exams, to judge the person's critical thinking. And I think just I was trying to solve those question papers not for the purpose of for sitting in the examinations, but just checking why they are asking these kind of questions, and why they want us to have critical thinking about the various things. That is why I tell my kids, also my wife as well, that whenever there are things that are coming up, we should have a good biasing about the thing that, or whatever the steps we are taking or decisions that we're taking. We should have critical thinking about that. So thinking about various aspects of a particular thing and then coming up out with a decision, I think it is important. And I think these things are interconnected, like you said,
So you
the
feel that there's
truthfulness.
going to be a
Yeah.
kind of deeper introspection into
Yes.
truth. You
Yes.
keep
Yes.
thinking about truth a little bit more, and then you get
Right.
connected to exactly what is the right way to go about things. So that's very good, very good. Definitely, definitely, truth has one of those important attributes in it that will help people go forward. I feel also that, like, integrity and truth, in the search of truth itself, the search of truth itself gives human beings, even in a day-to-day person's life, when he tries to look at, an event. Imagine an event occurs for him, either negative or positive. When he tries to introspect into it, look into it, and see as to whether it has affect what is the real underlying causes that have brought this about. Like, for instance, if he goes and he suddenly gets angry while he's road rage. Generally you have a lot of road
Yeah.
rage that occurs, and he gets into one of those situations where there's a lot of road rage. When he walks away, instead of keeping in his mind the hatred he has for that other gentleman or whoever it was that uh, the antagonist, basically, rather than keep hold that antagonism within himself, if he's able to come to a more gentle spot where he's able to now start thinking as to why perhaps that guy also had a lot of problems while he was coming out in the morning. Perhaps that guy was also late. He starts introspecting and going a little deeper into his feelings and as to what might have happened to the other person. Empathizing, because empathizing holds a need for truth inherent inside it. So if he begins to learn these qualities, which are very, very close to truth, if you try to empathize and understand another person, you're making an effort to understand the real perspective and not just your perspective, but the other person's perspective too. And there may be general other conditions that are involved too. So coming closer to that might help a person come to a more gentle and silent spot within himself, wherein he doesn't have to, keep a persistent emotion inside him, right? That's how hurts him and affects him and affects him. What is your take on integrity and you know parental children relationships? Let's look at a few relationships,
Yes.
one or two. We're pressed for time. We can look at one or two relationships here. I'd say, what do you think, Hemant? Like, how do you think integrity between parents and children would play out?
Yes. Actually, it's a very interesting question because um, bonding develops through an honest, through honesty. The bonding between parents and their children develops through honesty, and especially with the father, because the love towards the mother is a natural instinct, whether it is human beings or animals. But as far as the father is concerned, he needs to put that extra effort to develop that bonding. Otherwise, the bonding will not develop. So merely we can all physically we can be parents, but if the children have to respect us for many years to come, because see, the child is born, he's not going to be a child. He's going to grow up and he's also going to become an adult. So the respect that they carry for you comes about through honesty. So it can be in many ways. I mean, because normally children, they sometimes tell lies. They sometimes tell excuses for mistakes they have committed. Okay, it is normal, but sometimes what happens is, say, for instance, in the exams, if you take the typical Indian context. Even today, the marks scored in the exams carries a lot of weight, so weightage, and probably many times the parents scold their children for not scoring marks. So the child tries to find some excuse for his failure. But rather, he can say, he can tell his parents, look here, my mom, dad, for me, amongst these so many subjects that we have to study, I am strong in English, social, and arts. Or maybe because that particular kind may be more, that kid might be more having an interest in sports. So he may not be as strong in maths or some of the other theoretical subjects. So he should tell him, he should be honest. He should tell his parents. My father, my dear, I mean, your father and mother, I am more inclined towards sports, or I am more inclined towards arts subject. So for me, maths and science, it doesn't. I mean, okay, I have to study till 12th because it is part of my curricula, but don't expect me to score the kind of marks that may probably my classmate X or Y is scoring. So they will understand that. So then
Right.
accordingly, the parents will understand their child's interest, and probably that will even help them to motivate him to pursue a career suited to his needs.
Very
Yes.
true. I get
So,
what you're trying to say is that if someone is more and more honest and learns the habit of honesty and truthfulness, they'll be getting more in touch with themselves and knowing
yes,
which path to take. So they
true.
gain a
True.
terrible strength because through habit,
Yes.
they begin to understand themselves more and they begin to understand exactly where they want to be, where they want to go, the goals that they can achieve, and things like that, that they really want. They don't want to come
Yes.
to the end, look back and say, oh, I didn't do what I wanted to do. I'm not who I wanted to be. I've done something completely away from who I am. Things like that can be avoided in the future if someone is more in touch with themselves and follows, goes through integrity. They can also, lives a life of integrity or truthfulness rather, or honesty. Basically by initially talking that way to the parents, knowing what is the real thing, come more and more in touch with themselves. Very good, very good. I think it's a real backbone strengthener, being honest, and something that's sustainable, goes in the long term. Right. I'd like to, Anupam, we'll have one more take on a different way that we can look at integrity in a different relationship. I would like Anupam to give me an idea, about how in the professional world, truth and integrity, build relations. How could they build relations in the professional?
Um, uh, I think in professional world also, being truthful and being work with integrity plays a very key role. I think any of the organizations, if you see their visions and their missions, if they're you see read their taglines, you'll find a very important place of integrity, a word with, because they want the customer, they want to be uh, with the customers, to be truthful, and they want to be honest with them. And that is why in every their mission or visions, we see any big companies you pick up, they will have this very important place of integrity. And in the work life, in our work as well, like I'm doing a personal work which I'm working on a project, and if I'm not completing the work on time, then it claims that you are not being truthful to your work, or you have not actually taken a stance where you could have said that this will take another bit of time, and maybe being truthful at the first place. And if you think that you are not being able to complete the project or deadline, or being honest and being truthful to the your management that I'll not be able to complete this on time, the deadline that they have given me, let's recalculate and retry to let's try to reschedule this project's deadline, because I feel there's a lot of work that has to be done on this project. And I'm being honest, these are the tasks that are there. And if you come up with these kind of thoughts and with a good supporting reasons, I think this will give a confidence to your management that no, this person is working with integrity. He has shown us the courage that we have these. deadlines coming up, but they are important tasks. The tasks that are assigned are not easy. It is not humanly possible to complete this on the particular deadline that we have defined. So, of course, it plays a very important role, and we have seen that people who work well in the company, being truthful, I think those are the people who jumps the ladder higher in the position or in the management. And we have seen that people who tries to duck away the work and try to be not deceitful in their approach, saying that I'll complete it tomorrow, and then they will be completing the work a week after. So these kind of things shows unprofessionalism, and that we have seen with the new generation that are coming up. They are not very professional in their work. I think not in their work. I would say in their approach. Work anyway, people knows how to do it, but if their approach is not uh, 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 honest approach, then it will create problem for the organization and also for the people who are managing the projects. So I feel that it is a very important part where truthfulness and integrity plays a very important role for their professional growth and also for the company's growth.
Fantastic, fantastic. I guess the relationship between various stakeholders in an organization, from customers all the way down to senior management, is one that is really built in the end on integrity and faith, and honesty and faith. We do have a lot of instances of where we see, certain aspects like where one stakeholder is ripped off, perhaps by in companies that are not honest or don't tag the integrity line deep into their culture. These kind of companies are there and they have made a lot of money, but at some time you've also seen them fall and collapse. So if you want something more sustainable, I guess basically in life you have to follow an approach of possessing more integrity, because that is in the end the method to achieve that backbone that will allow your professional life and indeed things that you're building to stand the test of time. So if you don't have that, then you probably won't build anything much. Okay, guys, today we'll wind up. Thank you. It was absolutely fantastic. I'll just wind up by saying a quote. I don't remember who the character is, but it's from Shakespeare. I think it was Hamlet, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't really remember where he said, um, "To thine own self be true, and then you can be false to no man." So learn the art of being truthful to your own self, first of all. All right. So it's fantastic, guys. It was really lovely. And all our viewers, if any of you guys have enjoyed this, please subscribe to this channel, Going Vocal. Take care. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Hemant. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Anupam, and thank you, Mr.
Bye bye.